Mm.
Mutants and Marvels, Genies and Muppets. You are now tuned in to the Disney Holic Show.
Hello and welcome to the Disney Holic Show. That's Jen Diz.
And that's Mike TV.
Today we have some exciting news in the world of Marvel to discuss and catch up on, plus an Armchair Imagineering Patreon takeover topic from our listener Emma.
I'm really glad we picked such a great intro song because I never get tired of it.
Never get tired of it. Shout out to Fat Cat Swinger. Wow,
Yes.
what a great. It's called, if anyone wants to listen to the full song, right? It's Table for Two,
Yep.
which is very
There's
appropriate for us.
all sorts of lyrics. Go check it out. They're
Yes.
on YouTube.
So we have a very fun Patreon takeover topic today, and I love when we get to do some armchair imagineering, basically designing something fantasy that will probably never be built, pretending to be an Imagineer. But first, there have been plenty Marvel news updates, and we haven't had a chance to catch up yet on those.
Ooh.
So now is the time. Okay, first of all, the MCU, Marvel Cinematic Universe, it's kind of in this weird transformation stage. Like, are they going to do less movies, less Disney Plus series, more series? How are they going to deal with the next big saga? When is this multiverse saga going to end? Because it's getting a little bit played out in my mind, the multiverse stuff. So what are your thoughts on the state of where Marvel is now? Like, how much are you paying attention to it, not paying attention? And then let's talk about some of the updates.
Well, I'm not at all.
I
That's why
don't
I was
think a lot of
excited for
people
this.
are, yeah.
When I saw you add this on, I'm like, oh, great. I have no idea what's going on. So Mike can just tell me today. It'll be great. Yeah, no, I'm pretty out of the loop. I see like bits and pieces here when I'm like surfing on Instagram or something, right? But like, really, it's maybe someone's comment about what I should have already known. I don't. So I'm like
Right.
missing stuff there. But yeah, pretty out of the loop. How about you?
So for many of us hardcore nerds, Marvel fans, I feel a little lost. Like I don't there's too many storylines going on, and the multiverse kind of just allows writers to just do whatever they want and fix mistakes and all that, which is good and bad. I guess it just depends on execution, right? But a lot of us have been waiting for some of like the big ones, like what's going on with Deadpool, what's going on with X-Men, Fantastic Four. I love all the like newer characters that I didn't grow up with, but I'm ready for the big ones. Like the Marvels was great, didn't do great in box office, not a much, it's not a big name like Carol Danvers. I didn't go around saying that as a kid. Oh, Carol
Right.
Danvers. So they've been going a little bit obscure, and now it's time to get back to the classics. And that's what we're getting. So during the Super Bowl, they premiered the new trailer for Deadpool and Wolverine. So this is the third Deadpool movie, and now this is the first in which they are now owned by Disney and officially part of Marvel Studios, Marvel Cinematic Universe. And the great thing about Deadpool is he's always been a character, even in the comics, that breaks the fourth wall and just says things like it is and calls things out. And already in the trailer, he's kind of making fun of the mess that the multiverse is.
Ah,
And a lot
nice.
of fans are theorizing this might be the movie that kind of cleans it all up and puts it everything
Ooh,
back,
okay.
in order so that we can move forward and better understand the story before it gets to the next thing. So I'm hoping that's the case. They did tease that we're going to get the Fox Studios version of Wolverine, which is played by Hugh Jackman, right? I was going to say hair Jack. Hugh Jackman.
I was thinking Hugh Grant.
Hugh
Wrong.
Oompa Loompa, Hugh
Oompa Loompa.
Jackman, which we already knew, but this is the first time they kind of like put it in. He's a shadow that shows up with the claws. It just looks like a lot of fun. Ryan Reynolds is great as Deadpool. He turns to the camera at one point in the trailer when they are talking about pegging.
In the
And
trailer, even?
in the trailer, so you know how the
I mean, that's
TVA,
like the lighter stuff, right? They usually.
the TVA that we got to meet in Loki, for people who watch the Loki series, the Time Variance Authority, they have these batons and they go around and they try to clip you out from the timeline that you screwed up. Long story short, they show up at Deadpool's house in the trailer and they're like, "You need to come with us." And they start talking about pegging because they have the sticks, the batons. And Ryan Reynolds turns to the camera and goes, he says something like, um, Disney's not used to hearing this or something. And
Okay.
it's
I was
great.
wondering if there's going to be a lot of that because he was even doing stuff like, yeah, like the breaking the fourth wall and like making fun of the situations.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
And
yeah.
he even at the end of I think the last Deadpool, at the post-credit scenes, he went back and killed all the bad timeline versions of Deadpool that they've done in the past that weren't really in canon the way it was supposed to. So like he even went back and did those things. So yeah, I think they're going to address most of it, similar to what we got with She-Hulk at the end of that series when she went up to Marvel corporate offices and met a
Right.
robot version of Kevin Feige. So yeah, really cool. And it also is the only MCU film this year. So quality over quantity
Wow.
in 2024. There's also like the writer's strike and stuff. So I think that's why. But just one movie, so it needs to be good. It needs to blow us out of the water. I'm ready to be excited. I'm ready to laugh. I'm ready to see more of the old X-Men come in and then decide what they're going to do with these timelines going forward. And I think it's already like making records on YouTube for a number of views, that trailer.
I feel like I'm so okay. Like I still haven't watched the trailer, and it came out over a week
Super
ago
Bowl
now, right? Super
Sunday.
Bowl.
Yep.
Yeah, so I have no excuse. However, there's a couple things. One, I'm a little anxious to see like what happens when it comes to Disney. Mostly because I'm just like don't want to deal with people talking shit about it, right?
Yeah.
Like they're gonna be, oh, Disney ruins everything, right? I just like don't want to deal with it. So that little anxiety is there. But also I was like, I had always thought this was Deadpool 3. I didn't realize it was Deadpool and Wolverine, or I forgot it was if I already knew.
This
And
seems to
that
be the
turned me
first
off.
indicator that they're taking the number three out and just calling it Deadpool and Wolverine.
I
So
like don't
that
remember knowing Wolverine was even in it.
Oh,
But
okay. You got to remember now, years ago, wow, years ago, Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman made a video in their house of them announcing this movie and that he's in it as the old Wolverine. And the rumor has it, none of that was confirmed. They did that knowing that now it has to get greenlit.
that's amazing.
So I just love these guys. Whether some of that is just a grain of salt, like Ryan Reynolds, Hugh Jackman, they're so in it. They love their
Yeah, and they're
characters
both
so
so
much.
good. Like
So
Ryan
good.
Reynolds is one of the funniest people. Like I
Yeah.
love his Deadpool. And I also love Hugh Jackman's Wolverine. So like I'm
Yeah.
excited about all of that. But is he gonna be playing like comic book yellow Wolverine
It
pretty
looks
much? Or
like
is he gonna
it.
look like Logan?
He has the yellow suit, so they'll
Oh
probably
wow, he
explain
does.
it somehow. Yeah, and I'm excited because
Oh my
there's
gosh.
also other cameos to be expected that are still a well-kept secret. So we'll find
Okay.
out. But so 2024, just the one movie, but it seems like it's a good one. But then in 2025, way too many movies, way too many.
Back into it.
Back into it. So going into next year, we have a new Captain America movie. Um, and then we have a Thunderbolts movie, which is kind of like the silly reject version of the Avengers. And then we have Fantastic Four, which that one is one of the big ones we've been waiting for. Like if we only got Fantastic Four next year, I'd be satisfied. So Fantastic Four anchors the summer of the Marvel movies, and they announced the cast officially, which was really cute. They did it by posting on Instagram a little Valentine's card that showed the Fantastic Four, which they're known as Marvel's first family because they're the original family of superheroes. And it's based on the design, fans are already excited, thinking this may take place where it does in the comics, which is like the 60s. And if so,
Ooh.
it's giving me Carousel of Progress. It's giving me Tomorrowland. It's giving me People Mover. It's giving me all the colors of Carousel of Progress and that kind of stuff. So I think it would be really cool if they do that, and I hope so. And then they can figure out how to get them into the timeline later, but just like make a really good classic Fantastic Four movie set where they should be. because the costumes just look a lot cooler that way. And I feel confident about this direction because the director of the Fantastic Four is Matt Shakman, who did WandaVision.
Okay.
And he
Very
got
cool.
he has an aesthetic, right? Like he knows how to
Yeah.
do that, take you back, make it retro, but still feel modern. So really excited about that. And of course, we got confirmation that everybody was already buzzing, but it is confirmed Pedro Pascal is Mr. Fantastic, which is going to be super cool. Anyways, excited about that.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's good.
Fantastic
Oh,
Four.
and Blade also, right?
Oh shoot. Yeah, they're ending next year around spooky season with Blade. So here's another one. Earlier you were saying, "Oh, what are people going to think that are like super Marvel fans but not be comfortable with Disney owning Marvel?" So Blade is going to be the second R-rated Disney Marvel movie after Deadpool and Wolverine. So we'll see how they do with allowing the mature stuff to happen because it should be. I mean, Blade's vampire, there's killers, there's vampire killers and vampires and blood. I mean, lots of blood.
Blood.
And it's been so long since I watched the Wesley Snipes version
Yeah.
decades ago, but that was definitely an adult oriented movie.
I just remember being excited because it was like a bunch of like ravers or like kind of goth club. And that
Oh,
was the
yeah.
first, like one of those first times you see that on film, and we're all like going to that in real life. Like,
Oh, I
oh,
love it.
players. Yeah.
Um, yeah, so one movie this year, and then we get four next year. And I didn't even talk about the many Disney Plus series that are coming and going, and some things are announced and re-announced and put in development and put on hold. There's way too many, so I'm just going to mention a couple that I'm personally
Okay.
excited about. So they released the trailer for X-Men 97. Now, this is an animated series that's a direct sequel to where the X-Men 90s animated series left off. And the same animation style and everything. So I'm loving it. So far, it looks like they're paying the source material respect. And you could tell these are people who watched it and they grew up and now they get to animate what happens next.
Okay. So
Um,
was it the last one in 97?
I believe 96. So then this
Oh
carries
my
it
gosh.
forward. Yeah. And
How
the cool
cool.
part about it is it's more or less set in the MCU. It's set the intro will say Marvel Animation. They have like a new logo reveal for that. I'm gonna press this song again. Like that whole thing.
Right.
But it says Marvel Animation now, but it's kind of part of the MCU. And then we were just talking about Wolverine wearing the yellow comic accurate outfit in Deadpool and Wolverine, which is what he wears in the 90s series. So I feel like there's something happening here that we don't know about yet, where these cartoon characters may cross over into live action, and then my mind will be blown. And it would
Very
make sense why
interesting.
they're bothering to do this right now, this sequel series.
Right. Oh my gosh. Huh.
So yeah, that's cool. A lot of nostalgia there for those who grew up in the
Did
90s
you
watching those.
watch the old ones?
Oh yeah, oh
Oh,
religiously.
that's super exciting. And I definitely didn't, but like
Yeah,
for
and they
anyone who
were
did, that's really cool.
even as a kid, I remember them being mature themed. I mean, it was still made for kids, but they were mature themes. Like the X-Men Mutant Saga has always been about teenagers growing up, struggling with their real authentic identity, feeling like they're othered, and just dealing with all that while finding out you have some weird power that is just getting unlocked through puberty. So it's always been like a heavy like story arc for each character. And I remember watching the cartoon thinking like, oh wow, because they had like Jubilee was like running away from home and then she finds this group of people who want to take her in at the mansion that's Professor X. So it's just cool. It's cool to see that
That's
coming
awesome.
back in that way. And then there's one more that I think you're going to be excited about too. Disney Plus series coming out fall of this year around spooky season. Agatha Darkhold Diaries.
I am
Da-dun-dun.
excited about this. Do you know, is this in my head I just assumed that it would be directed by the same WandaVision person. And you just said his name, Matt
Matt
Shackman.
Shackman? I
Shackman.
don't know. Good question.
I feel like it's gonna have some type of aesthetic, but maybe not. But
I hope it does.
regardless, I feel
Yeah,
they
I
all
hope it
feel
has
really good.
something.
So
I hope it carries some sort of essence from the Agatha we fell in love with
yeah, like we
that
gotta
comes
have at
through
least a
here.
tie-in at the beginning, maybe, and then
Yeah.
move
Oh,
forward from
that's a
it.
good question. They haven't released much about it. I don't even know what if they're still set in that crazy bubble, or is it before or
Yeah.
after
Before,
WandaVision?
after, who knows? Yeah.
Who knows? So, one thing that I'm excited about is Aubrey Plaza is officially part of the cast as one of the witches.
What?
And just think about
Okay,
deadpan
first, hold on,
Audrey
hold on.
Plaza, right?
I just got so much more excited.
As a witch, I think from Salem, an actual witch,
Okay. Okay. Oh my God, wait. How, what?
right?
She's so deadpan. Like her
Yep.
playing a witch could be really funny.
It could be so funny. And then with the chemistry with Catherine Hahn, like it'll
Oh
be
my
good.
God, that's
They have the right
hilarious.
ingredients. Let's see if they make the
I just
right.
got stupid excited. When is this coming out?
Yeah, around Halloween of this year.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Woohoo.
I mean, I already was, but that makes me even more excited. Wow, and they're both like so fun, both of them. So there's already
Yeah.
two people that I'm really excited to see. So that's all I need, really.
And they can kind of just sort of like put on the skin of any character and make it theirs.
Yeah,
They're really good at that. But yeah, so that's Marvel. Those are most of the news and updates that I've been dying to talk about.
good. Thanks for filling me in because I am
Ba-dum-bum.
not in the know. Oh my gosh. So, moving on from Marvel, we have a Patreon takeover topic because this is Patreon takeover month. And we actually had a submission coming from Emma. Shout outs to Emma. Hi. And she said, please pick a movie that you feel is underrepresented in the parks and design the following around it. A, an attraction. Say what park and land it would be in. And then a character meet and greet, and which characters and where the guests would meet them. And specialty food item. Say what restaurant would serve the food to. And then
Ooh.
she kindly gave an example, which is also her idea of what she would do with this. She said, my choice would be Emperor's New Groove. I do a dark ride roller coaster down
Ooh.
to slash through Yzma's laboratory. And she said, of course, because how could you not, right? In
Classic
the
scene.
old Carousel of Progress building in Disneyland's Tomorrowland. Innovations. Man, that whole building. Star Wars Launch Bay. So many things have gone through that poor building. We need to get something new and fresh in there. This would be great. And for her meet and greet, she'd put Kronk and Yzma out front for them. And then the food item she would serve is Kronk's spinach puffs at Galactic Grill. Wow, she like knows exactly what she wants.
Wow.
Very cool.
I think the fans of that movie, especially those who grew up with it, they deserve something. They always keep Yzma relevant on social media and in memes. That they keep her alive, the fans.
Yes, very cute.
I
And that's
also
like she's right, like the underrepresented part of it, right? But like we
yeah.
do get to see them every once in a while. They'll pop up at like special events or something, and it's like, oh, we want more. So this is like a perfect topic.
I just came across, I think it was TikTok or Instagram, a video of the recording session of Eartha Kitt doing the voice of Yzma. And I always forget that, number one, I don't know that movie very well. And how dare I, because what a iconic person that they got to do the voice of the villain. I just, again, underrepresented. I forget
I
that
just saw
this
it again
existed.
recently too, and I was like, oh my God, I forgot it's freaking Eartha Kitt. Like,
You're right.
what?
She's so good.
So, do you have one ready to go?
I do. And thank you again, Emma, for the rules of our Armchair Imagineering
Yes, let's
topic.
hear it.
Okay, so I'm a big Aladdin fan, and I think as someone who grew up in the 90s with Aladdin, I don't think Aladdin is well represented as a franchise, rides and all that. It's just kind of like peppered here and there. And so what I thought we should do is head over to Epcot. And at Epcot, we are going to create an extension of the Marvel. Look, I'm still thinking of Marvel. We're going to create an extension of the Morocco pavilion.
Okay.
And so let's blue sky this, meaning sky's the limit. We have no budget restraints. So let's start with the restaurant because there's already a restaurant back there that I think is currently closed that used to have like a belly dancer and it's a little bit outdated now. So let's take that restaurant and we're going to redo the whole thing. And it's going to be called 1001. And we love like a number as a restaurant. It's kind of mysterious. Like, what is that? Is that the address? Is
Yeah,
that
and
the name?
I'm curious.
You
What?
see? And then you start going, oh, okay. 1001 Arabian Nights, which is the original folklore in the book that the Aladdin and the genie came from, along with a bunch of other stories from that region. And so the restaurant is going to be educating or edutaining us about the background of these stories that came out of 1001 Arabian Nights, including Aladdin. And then the best part is we still want to keep it anchored in Morocco. So the menu is going to be designed by a famous Moroccan chef. I don't know who they are. Someone can find them and hire them. And they will use traditional ingredients and cooking methods from Morocco, but adding a whimsical touch to tell the different stories from 1001 Nights, including Aladdin.
Very cute.
So there we go. The
Very cute.
decor is going to have a lot of Aladdin stuff as well. And it just needs to be overall like really colorful and gorgeous. The restaurant that I'm thinking needs to be remade was pretty plain and simple, but I want this one to be super colorful and very Moroccan and Agrabah-esque, inspired by Agrabah. So that is the restaurant. Now, if
Okay.
I satiated your appetite with that, we also have a meet and greet because people want to see the blue cartoon version of Genie in the costume. So we'll have a Genie meet and greet. However, these are going to be one of those newer meet and greets where you wait and you're held at bay until it's your turn to go into the room
Okay.
and actually be surprised to see them. And so
Mm-hmm.
before it's your turn for your party to go into the room, there's going to be a magic lamp that someone gets to rub and all the mist comes out, similar to the
Ooh.
one that they have, I think you got to pay quarters for or something in Adventureland and Magic Kingdom. But they'll rub the lamp, which will then allow you to go in and meet the genie. Ba-dum-bum. So that's your
That's
genie meet and
very
greet.
cute.
Get to meet the classic genie. And then we have the huge e-ticket ride. This is the attraction of attractions that Aladdin fans have been waiting for. And I think Epcot could use over at the Moroccan Pavilion. So this is going to be an Indiana Jones and the Forbidden Temple style dark ride,
Ooh, high tech and
high
fancy.
tech.
Okay.
We're going to bring it to 2024 and get rid of that track. It's going to be trackless. Now you don't know where the Jeep is going to go. Even if you think you know where it's going to go, it might not go that way because it's a trackless vehicle now. And the way this works is guests are going to go on a high-speed tour of the desert led by the women from racing in that district. So if you remember right now, there's a exhibit there, right?
Yes.
About this all female team in Morocco that races in the desert. It's very cool. And there's like this little video game thing you could play to make it feel like you're driving. Well, we want to do an homage to that because we'll probably have to knock that all down for space. So you're going on this tour, and that's the story so far, is you're getting on the tour, and one of the women from this really cool team of racers is going to join you and drive your vehicle for you, similar to the great movie ride. So you had a
Okay.
live actor in the front that was like pretending to take you on this tour. So we'll have that same thing in the front of this Indiana Jones-esque trackless Jeep vehicle. But before you board, we also get a fun pre-show. And that pre-show is going to tell you a little bit more about this ride and story you're getting into. And you might recognize the two people in that spiel, in that safety video. One looks a lot like our friend Aladdin, but he has a disguise that can't fool us. And then the other person in the video is the version of Genie in his Arabian Nights form from the beginning of the Aladdin cartoon
Ooh.
with the Tupperware and all that. So now you have these two silly guys giving you the spiel. You're trying to figure out why is Aladdin pretending to be someone else. It's silly, blah, blah, blah. So then you get on the Jeep and now the fun starts. So you go into the actual attraction. The Jeep goes by a couple of very noteworthy desert scenes that the woman driver is pointing out to us as we go. And then, just like any good Disney attraction, something goes wrong. Dun, dun,
Okay.
dun. And what we now see is an old man, peddler, beggar type guy.
Ooh.
And he's on the side of the road and he tries to stop the car. And we're like, what is going on? And it turns out the old man has spotted a guest in our vehicle who he claims is a diamond in the rough.
Ooh, very cool. I love a good like interactive selection thing, like a Roz,
There you
right?
go.
Okay.
And we're going to take the essence of Star Tours. And they have a
Oh,
picture of the guest on the Jeep who is the diamond in the rough. And they're going to take that guest's face and project it onto one of those mist type screens that they used at Pirates for Davy Jones for a while.
okay.
So now you have this old beggar sort of pointing at the air in front of him with smoke and mist and the face of a guest on the Jeep. And he's saying, I need the diamond in the rough. And so someone in our car is a diamond in the rough. And he needs that guy or girl to get to the Cave of Wonders. So he transforms into Jafar. The old man transforms into the Jafar we all know and love,
Whoa.
tall with the black and red and the sorcerer's snake staff, and he uses his magic and sorcery to change the trajectory of our vehicle. We are now being pointed and driven toward the Cave of Wonders. We're all captive to get this one diamond in the rough over there. But someone's here to save us. All along, the woman who was driving the Jeep removes her hood, removes her helmet and scarves. It's Princess Jasmine.
Jasmine, here
Oh,
to save the
Jasmine.
day.
She loves to cosplay and go out, like pretend she's one of the people. So she's doing that again. But she's here to help save us. And she makes a sharp turn, drives us away. We do a lot of pushing and pulling with the sorcery powers of Jafar to get away. And just when we think we're making our way away from the Cave of Wonders, oh my gosh, Aladdin comes on the walkie and tells Jasmine, no, 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 you have to come back. Abu and Carpet are trapped in the Cave of Wonders, and Jafar's going to seal it for a whole century if you don't come and save them. So now our plans change again. We make a U-turn. We're driving to the Cave of Wonders. We go into
Get
the
out of the
mouth of the
car.
Cave of Wonders. We're driving. This is very Indiana Jones. Think of like the bridge and all the stuff exploding, and
Oh,
it's
no.
mayhem. And we're going through the piles of gold and artifacts and treasures. And then we finally find Abu pointing to Carpet, and poor Carpet is trapped underneath a boulder. A big rock fell on it.
Oh,
So they
no.
can't escape from there. So Jasmine uses our Jeep to push the boulder out of the way. And Carpet expands. All of a sudden, he's as large enough for that we can all ride on it. The entire Jeep
Oh.
drives onto Magic Carpet.
Oh.
And we are now technically similar to Rise of the Resistance. We have just moved our vehicle into now a screen simulator
Yes.
seamlessly. And suddenly we start flying through the Cave of Wonders, just like the cartoon, the entire Jeep. And of course, Carpet gets us out just in time as the mouth of the Tiger of the Cave of Wonders starts to close. And before it closes all the way, we hear a familiar voice, voiced by Gilbert Gottfried. It is Iago, and he flies by and accidentally, in air quotes, pushes Jafar into the Cave of Wonders as it closes.
Oops.
And now Jafar is the one trapped in there, and Iago is free to go, the silly parrot. And we get to the end of the ride. Everybody's celebrating. We're all happy. We saved Carpet. We saved Abu. And then Aladdin comes on the speaker, and Jasmine just apologizes for tricking us a little bit, but they needed our help to save the Cave of Wonders prisoners and get rid of Jafar and all that. And then, of course, it exits through a gift shop, which leads you right back to that meet and greet because people are going to still want to see Genie. And that's where you can go see him at the very end. Wow. Wow. That's the new Morocco pavilion for you.
That they need to do that. I mean, this whole bringing IP into Epcot is already happening. Why,
Right?
we bring in some classic IP, some Renaissance IP, and put it into the perspective
There you
countries.
go.
That makes sense, right?
And I think
Sorry.
I really want to say that they did the best job they could with Frozen by talking a lot about how it was inspired by the Norse mythology and all
Yes.
that stuff.
As
So
I was just thinking, I'm
totally.
like, okay, Agrabah is also fictional, just like Arendelle.
Yeah. So
Same thing.
do talk about the artists that were inspired by it, how they made the movie, the characters. Oh, so much potential there. So
I love it.
I would love to
I
see
want to
that.
go on this attraction right now.
Let's write it.
Very, very cool. I love it.
What did
All
you
right.
cook up based on Emma's topic?
Okay, so I picked one of my absolute favorites. And actually, I was going to circle back real quick about Aladdin. The only representation we see in the parks, in any of the parks, is that magic carpet ride in Magic Kingdom, right? Is that the only thing?
Yeah, the flat spinner ride at Adventureland in Magic Kingdom.
And then we had
That's
the
the only
show
one
at
I can think
DCA.
of, right? Yeah, and the show is gone, which was a great show. And
Yes.
Aladdin has a
Oh, and we had
moment in
the what was it called in Disneyland? The dining thing.
the the restaurant that's now Tropical Hideaway. What
Aladdin
was it called?
something. I forget what it was
Oasis.
called.
Aladdin's
Aladdin's
Oasis.
Oasis. There it is.
Never
Yes.
properly got to experience that
Okay,
as
so
a
they had a
as
little
a diner.
something for a
A little
little bit,
something
but
like
not
sprinkles here
enough.
and there. Like he'll show up in Fantasmic, he'll show up in Philharmonic, but yeah, it needs his own mini land. Or
Wow,
I
the
should say
only
they,
like
because it's like Aladdin, Jasmine, Genie, Raja, Abu, all of them.
did the only Renaissance movie that like got anything was it just Little Mermaid?
Yeah, and that was a big deal. I
Wow.
remember like, oh, finally,
Yeah, I mean, that was
she
really
got
late.
it.
That was like 2010 or something.
And I
Like that
was
was
willing to take it wherever they shoehorned it, which was in that weird Whoopi Goldberg theater in
yeah.
TCA.
Oh, and they had it in Epcot too. So they got some Little Mermaid stuff going on, and nobody else. Beauty and the
Yeah.
Beast gets a restaurant.
Beauty and the Beast
Lion King got a
restaurant.
show.
Beauty and the Beast has a
Like
live
shows.
show.
Oh yeah, well, Beauty and the Beast has a couple shows. Oh, now
Yeah,
they have the whole land in Tokyo.
there you
So
go. We want e-tickets. We want immersive
yes,
lands, just like Emma is suggesting.
yes.
Suggesting.
Okay, so I went back a little further in time and I chose one of my absolute favorites and picked Robin Hood.
Ooh, I'm
Stop, I'm
excited
gonna
about this
cry.
one. I like that.
Okay. So I was very much stuck in Disneyland for this topic. Like I don't want to picture it anywhere else. So I was like, I'm gonna stay in the park that I wanted to be in. So for my selfish reasons, right? And at first I had this whole idea of like really wanting a classic dark ride that told you the story of Robin Hood as we know it, like storybook ride, right? And then I was like, actually, I'm going to do a cheat and I'm going to combine my restaurant with my attraction. So I'm going for a
Ooh.
show instead of
Okay.
a ride. Sorry, Emma. It's still an attraction. She said an
Still
attraction.
attraction. Yeah.
Still an attraction.
You still probably need virtual queue to enter because it'll be so popular when it opens.
Exactly. That's right. So at the very oh yeah, so it's going to be in Disneyland, in Fantasyland, and it's going to take over the entire footprint of the Fantasyland theater. Because right now, we don't even know
Oh.
what's going on over there. They just wrapped up the Lion King show. Nothing's there for now. And like it's a decent amount of real estate. And I don't really know like what's right behind it. I think there might be
Yeah.
some extra space. So let's like maximize that area. And we are going to have Friar Tuck's Feast. Now, I know there's already a Friar
Ooh.
Tuck's restaurant in Magic Kingdom. That is just a counter service. No, this is not going to be anything like that.
Oh, he
This
does
is
have a
going to
little
be,
representation there. That's so random. I
yeah,
wonder if
he does.
people even know like what it
Nobody
is,
knows who
right?
Friar Tuck is. In fact, a couple people that I've like told to meet us there, I think it was on the 50th, they're all Friar what? I'm like, Friar Tuck. Friar Tuck, what do you mean? Like,
And it's also just like the Robin Hood story too. So there might people be like, why is that here? That don't even realize there was this amazing cartoon.
yes, right? And one of my favorite things about this is that it's also pretty close to where Big Thunder Ranch is. And it's going to have those vibes a
Mm.
little bit because it's going to be an all you can eat buffet that is table service, though. So, like how they do like Ohana and how they did Big Thunder
Oh,
Ranch also.
all you care to enjoy.
Yes, all you care to enjoy. And this is going to have foods that you would expect to be in Sherwood Forest, like shepherd's pie, like roasted veggies, lots of bread, lots of like big bread baskets are going to be coming out to the table,
Oh,
corn, like lots of hearty comfort
hearty.
food.
Yeah.
Yep. And stuff that you could probably also make on a campfire at some point. You know what I mean? Because it's
Oh,
kind
I
of
like
like,
that.
yeah, something that you might eat while you're camping. Picture that. So that's going to be at part of Friar Tuck's feast. So, along with this, I'm going to pull in a little of the vibes that they have over at the Hoop-Dee-Doo Review. Is that right? Hoop-Dee-Doo. I've never even officially gone to that. We went there once. just to eat on a tour. Remember that? We like sat in it, but it wasn't like the show going on for that
Did we? I don't think
Adventures by
so.
Disney. Wasn't that there?
I think we ate at the Wilderness Lodge restaurant.
Oh, maybe I'm just vibing it.
They're
And
like the
it's not on there.
cousins of the hoop-de-doo
Okay.
because they still do antics, like they make you scream the word ketchup and all this stuff.
Yes. So I
Yeah.
want it to be like that. I want it to be very interactive with the staff. Think 50s prime time. Think all these moments that it's not just a quiet waiter service. It's going to be very audience interactive.
Ooh.
And the best part is that it's going to be reservation only timed dinner shows. So there's going to be a
Ooh.
whole, we're keeping the theater as is with the stage. We are just changing the seating to where they're going to have like areas for tables and take out those bleachers and figure that whole situation out, but it's still going to be kind of like on an incline so everybody can see really well. Still want everyone to have a great view. So on the stage is going to be an improv type show. And this is going to be the story of Robin Hood and Little John and the Sherwood Forest. And the best part about this is that since it's an improv show, it's going to be a little different every time. So we're not going to get stale. So I'm going to want to keep coming back to this dinner to see what they can possibly come up with next. It's going to be really funny. There's going to be a lot of slapstick. And I almost want it to have the vibe. I can't remember the name of it, but there's a show they do in New York. You might know it. Where they like an Everything Goes Wrong play or something like that.
Oh, yeah, I've seen those
You know
like
what I'm talking about?
off-Broadway show. Yeah. I've seen
I want it to
the
be,
advertising for it.
yeah, I want it to be something similar like that. So this is like, you guys just, I don't know how to even explain it. Do you know how to describe that to people? It's
It's
like,
like a controlled chaos and
yeah.
mayhem.
So there's going to be moments of that so that it's really funny. And that's what makes it hilarious. Um, I remember seeing in Everything Goes Wrong, Peter Pan, where like they're on the cables and then the cables are just like being pulled incorrectly, sort of like flying into shit. And it's just like funny and entertaining. So I'm going to have moments like that. But there are also going to be a lot of really important parts that are going to show care and love. And I want it to be like this heartfelt moment. So it could
Oh.
be like a great date night. It could be a great family
Ooh.
moment. Want you to laugh and enjoy, but also like have a moment where you're just like, ah, I get it. Because the story of Robin Hood is just so good. And the narrator of the show, of course, is going to be the rooster. I don't even think he has a name, right? He just like called the narrator, I believe. So he'll be narrating the entire show as you enjoy your meal, have interactive moments with the play. It's going to go wrong here and there, and there's going to be a lot of improv, so you could keep coming back. Whew. And then can't forget a meet and greet. This will be at the end of your dinner, similar like they do for Be Our Guest in Magic Kingdom. They walk you through the meet and greet at the end, and you get to meet the Beast. Here, we're going to take a portion of the theater over maybe to the left. I believe there's probably like a little area in the back there behind the storybook land that we can carve out for a building. And we're going to set this one up similar to almost how you said, like we're only one party at a time, right? I want it to be also like that. But this is going to be like the royal fair princess area where you walk through and you
Oh.
get to have a bunch of different scenes and interactions with different characters. Now, one of the great things, and this is why Disney should buy my idea, because we already have the costumes. We already have Robin Hood. We already have Little John, Sheriff of Nottingham. We have Prince John and Friar Chuck. We have
And
like a
everyone
bunch of
freaks out
people.
when they come out every now and
Yes,
then. Yeah.
right? We don't get to see them often. So it'll be great. But the two that I want to add, and I'm not sure if these have ever been costumes. I definitely haven't seen them or character meet and greets, but I want to add the rooster because I just love him. I think that would be
Yeah.
such a cool
I
photo to
found out
have.
his name. It is Alan A. Dale. Have you heard of that? I never
Oh
knew that.
no, I don't think they say it. That's
Yeah, and I think
hilarious.
it's a similar name from the Robin Hood story itself.
Okay, okay. So Alan E.
Fascinating.
Dale will be there. And of course, we have to have a lovely couples meet and greet with Maid Marian.
Oh.
Mm, I love her so much. Oh my God, what about the chicken? Oh my God, I want everyone there. I want just all of them.
I like the idea of going through the different sets so you could
Yes,
see
very
different. I like
important. It
that.
has to be that like each room, like the like also could be similar to Toontown's Mickey Mouse house, right? Where you have the Steamboat Willie room or the this or the that. So like, but instead of having to choose, you get to go through all of them in a row and
That's a
meet all
good
the
one.
different
And I really like the design of that movie. And it's one of those cartoons where, yeah, I would love to step into it. Sort of like Bedknobs and Broomsticks, how the humans went into that world. Like the
yeah.
Robin Hood animated world was pretty and cool and whimsical.
Mm-hmm. You know, I've always thought about it for some reason. I've always wanted to play, and I don't know if they ever had one, but I've always wanted to play like a platform game of it because it's very, I feel like a lot of the movie moves
Oh,
from left to right,
yeah.
but just like would naturally fit into a video game format.
Yeah, I could see that.
Like them chasing Prince John and the moment with, I can't remember the snake's name either. I keep wanting to say Caw. It's not Caw, that's Jungle Book.
Oh, the snake's name is
I thought it was, no? Okay.
his
Um,
name is Sir Hiss.
oh my God. I feel like they
Prince
could have
John's
done better on
snake.
that one, but it's fine.
Who is Sir Hiss based on? Sir Hiss draws inspiration from Kaa from the Jungle Book, design wise. So there you go.
Right. You
Easy
know
to
what's funny
mistake the two.
too? I'm going to add this right now. I just thought of this, but I went to a Beauty and the Beast sing along at the Castro Theater recently in San
Oh,
Francisco.
that's
And they do
right.
this thing where before it starts, they give you these little goodie bags and there's little things in it. Like there's a one of those poppers that shoots like confetti or a rose that lights up and bubbles and like stuff like that.
A
And they tell
tambourine,
you
maybe?
before, huh?
A tambourine, maybe?
Oh my God. I can't wait to hear about that. Anyways, but like things that you can use during the movie, and before it starts, they tell you like every time you see Gaston, boo, right? And like tell you to do things and then also to use the things in your gift bag. So I'm going to add that to
Oh,
the flavor for this improv celebration. So every time you see Prince John, I want you guys to go, wah, or something like that, like crying and whining and make certain noises and cheer every time you see Robin Hood. So just like moments to really get you up. And that would be a great moment for all the interactive cast members to like get you going with that too.
people
So
love that. And it's a good way to like get rid of some energy when you get to like scream with the audience and laugh with
yeah.
the audience out loud,
Yeah,
like on
like I want you to
purpose.
come, you go to a big dinner. Sometimes you come out and you're just like, "Ah, oh my God, I need a nap." I don't want you to come out of that one like that. I want you to come out and being like, oh my God, that was so cool. When can we go again? Like that's what I
It's
want.
totally doable. You know what? If they brought in some of the Imagineers who built the really great dining halls on the cruise ships that have the program, you said timed reservations. Oh, it's doable. They
Totally.
need to do this.
Dang it. How do we get
Robin
that?
Hood, and they'll get all the furries to come over.
Yes, he's
Yeah.
gonna be a he should be at the I guess I don't think it fits into LGBTQ, but it fits into like queer, right? Like it fits in like that world. Like, can we add that in somehow? It could be like their um so we're like mascot, right?
Oh, someone does have like a drag moment in Robin Hood, right?
Oh, the bunch of them do.
Right? Yeah,
Robin
yeah.
Hood does,
Rob,
actually. Yeah.
I'm thinking of
Robin Hood
like
himself.
Tootsie or something.
I
Uh,
have the Dapper Day outfit of that drag outfit.
oh. So my favorite part of this new experience that they would be adding to Disneyland is the meet and greet. I like
Yeah.
that. It feels like because there's a in my mind I can remember that movie with like a lot of like brown and painted like wood and stuff. And I can just imagine you walking into one of those type of houses that they build, like in the
Mm-hmm.
forest with all the
Yeah.
characters. Very cool.
So good.
All
All
right,
right. What else do
so
you have?
we may have some competition in this construction zone at Disneyland
Oh,
because I decided to do a couple of more quick armchair imagineering ideas inspired by Emma's question. And so the one I came up with next will also take the spot at Disneyland. It's hot real estate right now. The Fantasyland Theater, the
we're
same
gonna
one
have to
that
post a battle on Instagram.
battle on Instagram,
Battle it
Disneyland
out.
Forward. And so the property that I think needs a little bit more love is Tangled. And I remember a point in time where that was like new new franchise. Now it's like it's been around for long enough that there's generations who have has at least one generation has passed through it and is waiting for
Someone
theirs.
else's renaissance, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're like, where's the Tangled rides? And then we're seeing some cool ones come to other parks internationally, but we definitely need more Tangled here in the States. And so what I propose is that we demolish the entire area, so get rid of the theater because we need that space. And we're going to create a Tangled show, a live show. You know what's interesting? The aesthetic of Robin Hood and Tangled are not that different either. Like
True.
these like
Very
folky type of thing.
foresty and
Uh-huh. So I'm thinking Tangled show Circle in the Round style theater, similar to the Festival of Fools they did in the 90s for Hunchback. And so you have a live show that happens throughout the day, but everyone gets to sit in a circle on benches, on the ground, different places to sit because the show happens all around you. And you'll basically get a fun retelling of the Tangled story with Rapunzel. And the food that this area would offer would be the Snuggly Duckling Tavern. So bringing in the Snuggly Duckling directly from the movie, they
very
do a cool
cute.
version like on one of the cruise ships as well. So you can have like the Vikings in there playing silly music and up to their cake antics and talking about their dreams coming true. And then you get some of that fun, hearty food as well that you would get from that type of world. I'm also imagining the restaurant seating being more like the Harry Potter one, the Leaky Cauldron, where you
Okay.
don't
Like
have to
long
bother with
tables.
reservations, but you make a line. Yeah, you still it's still counter service, but someone still seats you, like in that kind of perfect in between, so we can get as many people in here to experience that. And we also need to get people at Disneyland to like fill that back of the park, like spread out
True.
move some people there, move some people into Toontown, and then everywhere else, and it'll be a little bit, at least feel a little less crowded at the Disneyland Resort. Now, the my favorite part of this new Tangled area is that in the evening there is a lantern show, and all the tangled lanterns go up in the
Ooh.
air, and we finally get to see the use of drones over here in Disneyland in the US. They can
What the
use
heck?
drones for lanterns. And the other cool part about this, I was mentioning spreading the distribution of guests. This will get people to go watch the lantern show over there because you have to be
Yeah.
just somewhere around the back of the park to see it. And then it'll encourage them to stay and just watch the fireworks right there with the small world facade projections instead of running back to the castle. So now you have so many places to watch the fireworks. And if you watch it from here, you get this really nice treat of the Tangled Lantern Show at the end of the night. And then, of course, they have to build Rapunzel's tower somewhere in the distance, but I'll leave that up to the Imagineers to figure out like force perspective somehow
Yeah.
behind the restaurant or something. But yeah, that would give us a new Tangled area, perhaps an extension
Okay.
of Disneyland's Fantasyland.
Okay. I
And
don't want it to be there, but I'll take it.
I also went with your same thinking where I was like, wait, I didn't build a ride either because the show, it's all about the show, right? Like a really
Yeah.
fun interactive show that is
He
the
like
ride. It is
shows.
the attraction. And I guess people kind of expect to replace a show with a show, so I think that all makes sense. In an
Sure.
ideal world, there's enough space for both this Robin Hood area and Tangled area because they would seamlessly blend, transition from one to the other.
Sure.
Totally. Tangled
That's fine. In our multiverse, we can have as many of
in our
these we would
multiverse.
like.
Yeah. And then last but not least, I've been thinking a lot about the Muppets since my last Disney World trip, and um, they need more at the parks, or else people are just gonna forget about them. And I wouldn't even mind if they got to the point where newer, younger generations know them as the characters from Disneyland, not even the Muppets, but they need to figure out how to do that. So one of my ideas was to revisit one of the original canceled concepts for MGM Studio, which was the Great
Ooh,
Muppets movie ride. And it's basically the same as the movie ride, except it was going to have the Muppets filming different scenes, like Bride of
that was a
Frankenstein.
concept at some point.
Yeah, we talked about it a few episodes ago about Jim Henson dying and them having to cancel.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes, yes,
So
yes.
this is one
Okay.
of the forgotten concepts that would have been there. So I say let's get that up and running. Make it both a nod to the old great movie ride and include some newer IPs that the Muppets could parody and make silly fun of. And that
Hmm.
can be in either Hollywood Studios
That would
or
be really
DCA
fun.
too.
God, could you imagine the great movie ride with them like the two old men in the front of the
Oh my
car?
gosh. Oh my gosh. That would be hilarious.
Just like
Commenting
making
the
fun
whole
of
time.
everything.
Yes. And that's what made me think when I was watching the Muppet Vision, and especially the pre-show that I completely forgot about. It's pretty long. Uh, they're so good at parodying, especially like they do similar to Bug's Life as well, like movie posters that they Muppetize. And
Yep.
like that stuff, they can go full ham hock and make it hilarious, family friendly.
That's
Great
great. I love
Muppets
it.
movie ride, right? You could bring it to DCA in Hollywood. You could bring it to Hollywood Studios. I think it's pretty doable. But that's not a whole
I,
land. I just want to see at least give them a ride. That'd be lovely.
right. Oh my gosh. I want like all of these
I
things
want
now.
it
That's not fair.
all
I want it all.
or nothing at all.
Exactly. Wow. Thanks, Emma, for this topic because this has been a lot of fun. And now I'm just like, there's so much more to be done.
Right? I'm getting kind of hyped for D23 with all these blue sky ideas.
Ooh, all that billions of dollars we get to hear about,
Right?
hopefully.
Take our ideas. We have fresh topics here for you guys.
Hire us. I need a job. Come on, Disney.
Well, we did Emma's very fun topic of armchair Imagineering, an underrepresented franchise character property in the parks. And then we finally got to catch up on all the Marvel things that are happening and hard to keep up with.
Yes, and thank you all for listening. We hope you enjoyed episode 177 of the Disney Holics Show.
Follow us on social media at the Disneyholics.
And if you'd like to get in touch with us, send us a message on Instagram or contact us at thedisneyholics.com. Okay,
Okay,
bye.
bye.